think I would like to take a 5-minute recess. During this time, I will consider an appropriate course of action to take. Court is adjourned. I think the bullet we claimed is going to help us. Yana Yogi said he received a pistol. That's the murder weapon. And it's going to be the same murder weapon from the DL6 incident, so the question will become, who sent it to him, right? Whether that'll help acquit Edgeworth, I don't know. But it will help point towards Von Karma for evidence tampering. He could have gone in there and taken the pistol and given it to Yana Yogi. I'm sorry, Wright. I just wasted all of your efforts. Mr. Edgeworth, I don't believe it, sir. I mean, you killed your dad? Didn't want to believe it myself, Detective, but it's the truth. I deserve to be punished. Murder is murder no matter what the circumstances. This is crazy, just crazy. Nick, what are you doing? Huh? Oh, I was just reading through the court records once more. I'm getting my case ready. Your case for what? Listen, isn't it obvious? I'm going to prove that Miles Edgeworth is innocent. What are you talking about, pal? He just admitted to it. No, he admits to thinking he did it. He has a nightmare about grabbing the gun. He hears gunshots, a scream, and that's it. He confessed that he did it in court. I'm sorry, Edgeworth, but I don't believe your nightmare. What? It's just a dream, it's not real. Truth is right here in this court record. In any case, tighten your belts, the real fight is just beginning. I'll prove you're innocent, trust me. Right? Oh. Actually, you know what? The bullet. Let's get to where I can show you the evidence. Right. I'm thinking about this all wrong. This bullet here has this is from Hammond's murder, the recent one, has ballistic markings that match this gun that was sent to Yana Yogi by obviously Von Karma because he confessed to it in the evidence locker, and then he tased us and took everything else we had. That was the pistol that would have been in the evidence locker for the DL6 incident, right? This bullet here is from the DL6 incident. This was the one taken out of Gregory Edgeworth's heart, and it also bears clear ballistic markings, and I've said I think that is going to be the same bullet as this. But, like I said, that photograph, there is a bullet hole in the window in the door. He could have been shot from the outside by a different weapon. Not necessarily that one. Or it is the same weapon, but this weapon was not in the elevator at the time. Von Karma forges evidence all the time. This could have been his tampering. He could have swapped the gun to be the one that he used to kill Gregory Edgeworth. He was outside at the window when the thing was stuck, and he would have been in the hallway where it was stuck at and shot through. So his opportunity to kill Edgeworth, because he cost him his perfect case record that day. That was his motive for murder. It's probably going to be something like that. Until we see where these bullets match up, whether they do or don't, see. Now then, I would like to resume our trial. Judge, Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examination. The statute of limitations on DL6 incident runs out today. Though it is unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book. I see. Does the defense have any objections? No, Your Honor. Karma, you knew this was going to happen from the very beginning, didn't you? This is Von Karma's revenge against Edgeworth. I want to take a moment to appreciate Matt's big brain moment. Most of them are right. Yeah, but a lot of them aren't. Will Miles Edgeworth take the stand? Will the witness state his name and profession? Miles Edgeworth, I'm a prosecuting attorney. Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct? That's interesting. He called it mistakenly. Edgeworth didn't say anything of the sort in his testimony. Just now when he blurted out his confession, he didn't say I mistakenly did it. He just said I did it. It is correct. Testify about this matter to the court. When Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That will be the key, but only if I can get it to work. Please, please. That day I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in an elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That is all. And until now, you thought this memory was a dream. We were stuck in the elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out and I lost my memory of these events. The same claim Mr. Yogi's made. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. So the gun fell at his feet. Where did it fall from? I mean, you would have assumed that Yanni Yogi had it on him. He was a bailiff, and he said he didn't know whether he was taking it as evidence from a previous case. Maya right now hoping that Matt Phoenix shall manage to win the trial. Let's just question everything as always. What was the trial your father was involved in on that day? I don't remember things very clearly, only 2 things. I know my father lost and that Von Karma was the prosecuting attorney. Mr. Von Karma, you were handling that case? It was 15 years ago. I don't remember the details. That's when Edgeworth pointed out a problem in Von Karma's evidence. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. So there were 3 people, including yourself, trapped in that elevator. Yes, myself, my father, and Yanni Yogi. We were fine at first, but then as time passed and no one came to help, my father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. What did you do then? I was 9-year-old boy at the time. What could I do? I was scared, trembling in the corner. But then, just then something heavy fell at my feet. What was it? A pistol. I assumed it was the bailiff Yanni Yogi's. The safety must have come off when it fell from his holster. And you picked it up. What happened next? Picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted to stop them fighting. Did you know it was a pistol when you threw it? I think I knew. I knew it was dangerous, but the air was getting so thick I panicked. So you're saying that you threw the pistol at Mr. Yogi? I was in a daze. A moment later there was a single gunshot and then a scream. The gun fired once? Yes. I think after I threw it I lost consciousness. Since then they've echoed in my head every day. The murder weapon was fired twice. One bullet found in the heart. The murder weapon was fired twice. So it went off twice. That gunshot and that horrible scream. The scream? Yeah. Unbelievable that people still play this high. You love this game. Thank you very much, Felix. I like this game too. It's the first time I've played it. I've been meaning to try it for a long while. Last year we did a lot of the Sherlock Holmes games and I was going to play this around that time, but I never got round to it. Alright, so to this day, yes, I can practically hear it now. I doubt I will ever forget that scream as long as I live. There it is. The one part of the testimony that contradicts the evidence. I don't know what it means. Better find out and quick. So this scream that he heard, who would have screamed? You didn't finish it yet, you're on Trial and Tribulations 3. Oh, cool. Yeah, I plan to play through all of them. Right, so... I think Heavy fell at his feet. He picked it up and threw it at Yogi. He wanted them to stop fighting. He wanted them to stop farting? God, what is my mouth doing? I mean, if you're stuck in an elevator, you don't want that either, but... Ooh. That was a hell of a slip of the tongue. A moment later, there was a single gunshot and a scream. A terrible scream, I remember it to this day. King Pulsar, welcome back. It's a single gunshot that I'm not so sure about. Well, the single gunshot does contradict the DL6 incident, but he did say he passed out shortly afterwards. Are you sure you only heard one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and then the scream, and then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. So the second gunshot might be the actual killing shot, not the first. He may have been unconscious when his father was killed. He doesn't remember seeing his dad get shot. He just threw the thing and then he blacked out after the scream. Can you tell me what happened so far? It's been a while since you've played yourself. Right, so we were defending Miles Edgeworth, the prosecutor from the previous episodes, for the murder of a guy called Robert Hammond out on a boat on the lake. We've determined that actually what happened was he was framed by the boat rental shop owner. The boat rental shop owner was a man called Yanni Yogi. Yanni Yogi used to be a bailiff in court 15 years ago, and what he did, well, what happened was, 15 years ago, Edgeworth's father, Gregory Edgeworth, was a was a defending attorney. He was in a case against Von Karma, the current prosecutor in this case, and he lost. Von Karma won, but Von Karma got a penalty on his record thanks to Gregory Edgeworth pointing out faulty evidence. That has just sieved Von Karma for all these years since. So what happens is, later that day, they're in an elevator leaving the court. Young Miles Edgeworth is with them, as well as Yanni Yogi, and they're in the elevator and there's an earthquake. They get stuck in there for 5 hours losing air. And then, what's happened is, Edgeworth has said he's picked the pistol up that was in the elevator and threw it at them to stop them arguing, because the two men were arguing over the air running out. And that there was one gunshot. Okay? Now, Yanni Yogi got tried for the murder, but it was actually Edgeworth that did it. It was actually Miles Edgeworth, the son, that has done it. That's what we've come to learn. But originally, Yanni Yogi was tried for murder. Gregory Edgeworth... not Gregory Edgeworth. See, I'm getting confused now. Robert Hammond, the current victim, was his defense attorney. And he stated that Miles Edgeworth's testimony was invalid because he's young and he's traumatized. And Gregory Edgeworth was not shot by him. Yanni Yogi was also blacked out, and he was found innocent. So that's what's been happening. We're in for a treat, right? So you remember the case now, yeah. So we've gone past that. We've got Yana Yogi found guilty of killing Robert Hammond, and also for framing Edgeworth. That was him shooting into the water past Edgeworth, threw the gun into the boat, and then jumped in the lake to swim back. He already killed Hammond in the boat shack, and then he put the coat back on him and threw him back out into the water. We know that Von Karma wrote a letter to him telling him he could do this and sent him the pistol. And we found Von Karma at the evidence lockers as well, probably pissing about and tampering with evidence, but we managed to get this from him when he zapped us. Maya managed to grab it off of him, this bullet. This was the bullet taken out of Gregory Edgeworth in the DL6 incident. So after we got everything all done and dusted, Edgeworth then blurted out that he was guilty of killing his own dad in DL6. So now we've got to do an impromptu quick trial on that. And that's where we're at. So... No, Your Honour. Unfortunately, you do not see. Look at this file one more time. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. Yeah, he said he heard one gunshot. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this evidence unless you can tell us what page it is on. Which page contradicts Miles Edgeworth's testimony? The victim data. It says that there was one bullet in him, but the gun was fired twice. Look at the victim data in this file. It says quite plainly the murder weapon was fired twice. Now I believe Von Karma is the one who did all the shooting. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot, yet the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So who fired the remaining shot? Was there perhaps another shooter who fired that second shot? So that gun was fired twice. Your Honour, as I'm sure you are aware, the incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. The pistol did fire twice. However, we do not know when that second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There is no proof that the second shot has anything to do with this incident. What? I see. You do have a point, Mr. Wright. The murder weapon was fired twice, as we have heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof the other shot fired had something to do with the case? See, I think this photograph is... case. If the bullet struck his father and was pulled out of his body, it wouldn't have made a bullet hole in the window, right? But we're going to show this. Because in the file, one bullet found in the heart. It didn't pass through the body. It's only a .22 caliber round anyway. They don't have that kind of penetrating power from a pistol. And it says on that evidence as well, taken from the heart, still bears clear ballistic markings. This photo shows a bullet hole in the window. So yes, we do have proof. Your Honour, I think I will be able to show you proof. What? Impossible. Now, Mr. Von Karma, save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. So you just settle down over there, Princess. We'll get to you in a moment. Very well, Mr. Wright, show us your proof. Do you have evidence that the second firing of the pistol is related to the incident? Take that! Big brain moment. Look at this photograph. Not doing the Nickelback reference. Although I think I'm going to find a soundbite for that song. Every time it says that, I'm going to play that. This is a photograph of the scene of the crime 15 years ago. I can see the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. This proves the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. The photo proves it. So let me get this straight. This photo proves 2 shots were fired. Where? Your Honour, please get a clue. Show the judge the contradiction. Right there, boom. As should be obvious, the contradiction is here. I see a bullet hole in the door. Your Honor, Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol, yet there is also a bullet hole in the elevator door. We also know that the murder weapon was fired twice, thus, someone other than Edgeworth fired the second shot. In fact, the first shot was going to be the window, I think. The second shot will be the one that kills him. Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart, the other hit the elevator door. Remember, the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else. Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be? The murderer, of course. I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies ran out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the Deal 6 incident case file. Look closely. The case summary page. Case summary is on page 1. Look what is written there. Not a single clue was found at the scene. Yes? If the pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. Does have a point. That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet did not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter, the whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made the bullet hole in the door. Well, you just called it a bullet hole. So a bullet made the bullet hole. Order. I will have order. Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly. The murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Von Karma says, the second bullet fired was not found. It is highly unlikely the police merely overlooked the second bullet. Have you met the police in this game, my friend? Because, yeah. All we have is the single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defense's claim. Tisk tisk, I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter. How did this happen? I don't believe the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident? What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? I'm sorry, Maya. What? It looks like I was wrong. Nick, if the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing. Oh no. But you said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent. I'm sorry. It's just when I saw the photograph, I thought the 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it, I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person, someone else who fired a killing shot, but now I was wrong to think it could be that simple. This case has stood unsolved for 15 years, Nick. Well, it seems we have finally cleared up this incident. Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. Precisely. I would like to ask one thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing on my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any objections? No. No, I do not. So you killed your father, though that was not your own intention? Yes, I did. Oh no. He's accepted the guilt. Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce the verdict on the defendant today, right here. Right now. Indeed. Does anyone else have any objections? I've been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There are so many things I should be saying, but my mind's gone blank and I can't find the words. Mr. Wright, do we have an objection? What they're saying is that this second bullet hole proves nothing. and that the gun was actually fired twice, but it didn't have to be at this moment. So we need to object to that and state that yes, actually, it was. We have the bullet that was taken from Edgeworth's heart with the clear ballistic markings on it still, but I don't think that's what we need right now. That's going to come into play when we have to prove that this is the murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth. We know that that bullet was from Robert Hammond, matches that pistol, that's for sure. I'm gonna have a look at this. Trapped in an elevator, returning from a lost trial with son, age 9, bullet found in heart, murder weapon fired twice. Trapped in the elevator with the Edgeworths, memory lost due to oxygen deprivation after his arrest. Fiancée Polly Jenkins committed suicide. There's nothing there that's relevant to us now. In fact, I don't think there's anything relevant at all in the DL6 case file. We've used it all. I mean, if we say no objections, then Edgeworth's guilty, so it's got to be higher than objection. Let's just move on and see what the game does. It might not be something that I have to present. I object. Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object? Oh, Nick? I don't know, his case is perfect. Must exist. Second bullet. Here comes Mia. Oh, yeah, Mia. I get them mixed up. I mean, yes, the second bullet has to exist. It's probably lodged in a wall somewhere. In the court. What? What did you say just now? Nothing. Second bullet must exist, but where? Someone took it. Seems waiting is not going to produce us any answers from Mr. Wright. Wait, Your Honor. The second bullet, it existed. What? But we've just heard proof that it did not exist. I realise that, Your Honor. I'm grasping here. Probably a moving wall. Yeah, it's going to be in the elevator shaft. It's just someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened. But who? The murderer. Objection. The murderer? Then tell us who is this murderer? Still thinking about that one. Give me a minute. So the criminal took the second bullet, but why? Huh? First of all, how would they have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for the bullet? Well, they had to find it. Of course there was a need, that's why they took it. What possible reason could they have had? Well, the reason the murderer took the bullet away from the scene with them is... Well, the bullet would be proof. Proof that he was shot from outside the elevator. Related to fingerprints, you think? I think it might be proof that he was shot. My idea that he was shot from the outside is kind of not working for me now because, yeah, the gun was fired twice and it was found in the elevator. Maybe it's more like the cautiousness.